Good morning, my friends. All right, today we are going to do NF4, NF4, page 1 on NF4. So NF4 page looks like this. That's just the cover. And then you're going to go to this page that looks like this. Now, today we are going to be learning how to multiply fractions. So we've been working on adding fractions, we've been working on subtracting fractions, and now we're going to figure out what do we do if we need to multiply fractions. So that's what I am going to teach you today. So we're going to start with an example, okay? And we're going to pretend that all these are equal pieces. Okay, remember it's hard to draw sometimes with this marker, but we're going to take this and I have 2/6. Okay, now we know that multiplication is just repeated addition. So I could do 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 and get the answer to this. But I also know that multiplying is a faster way to do it. So I'm going to write out my problem, okay? I could do this. 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 2/5, okay? I could do all of that and add it up because I know that multiplication is repeated addition. That's a lot of writing. That's pretty long. What if I just wrote it like this? 2/5 times 6. Oh, that's a lot shorter, isn't it? That might be the way that I want to go. All right, now let me show you how to set up the problem. So we're going to say that the 6 is over a 1. Okay, it's over a 1 because it's a whole number. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite it so that it's more even. So let me show you what I mean when I say I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite it so that it looks like this. See how this one, the 6 was kind of down farther? I just put this so the 6 is straight across from here and the 5 is straight across from the 1. Okay? Now, in order to multiply, all I have to do is just go straight across. Okay, so what is 2 times 6? 2 times 6 is 12. So I put the 12 at the top. And then I do the bottom. What is 5 times 1? 5 times 1 is 5. So my answer is 12/5. Now, I could have added across the top here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and put it over fifths. I would have gotten the same answer. But if I multiply, it sure does make it a whole lot quicker. All right, let's look at the next problem. The next problem is 3/4 times 8. Now, I could do 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. I could do that 8 times, but it's much easier to do multiplication. So, what do I put this whole number over? I put it over a 1. That's a really important step so that your fractions stay lined up. So let's go ahead and write that out. I have 3/4 times 8 over 1. 3/4 right here times 8 over 1. Now, I'm just going to multiply. 3 times 4 is 24. And 4 times 1 is 4. So 3/4 times 8 is 24/4. Now, when I look at that fraction, I can see that the top is bigger than the bottom. All right, I'm going to teach you something about that. So I need everyone to sit up straight. I need you to fold your hands in the most proper position. We're going to be very proper. We're going to sit up straight. We're going to have our hands ready. And we're going to say, I want you to repeat after me, proper fractions have big bottoms. And if you put a little bit of an English accent to it, it sounds even better. Proper fractions have big bottoms. Proper fractions have big bottoms. Oh, when I look at this fraction, is this a proper fraction? Is this a big bottom? No, this is a little bottom. It's a big top and a little bottom. That means that this is an improper fraction. It is not in its simplest form. Because proper fractions have what? Big bottoms. That is correct. So this is not a proper fraction. So how do we get it to be a proper fraction? Well, this one is pretty easy because we can divide the top and the bottom. Remember, if we want to have it in its simplest form, we are most likely going to divide to make it smaller because simplest is smaller. So if I divide the bottom by 4 and I divide the top by 4, I can get it because I know that if I count by 4s, I'm going to land on 24. So what is 4 divided by 4? Well, that's 1. And what is 24 divided by 4? That is what? 6. Now, if I have 6 over 1, that looks just like this, doesn't it? Except this is an 8 over 1 and this is a 6 over 1. Oh, here's a 6 over 1. Okay, so I know that 6 over 1, I can just put as 6. Now, a whole number is the simplest form, if you can have it that way. Okay, so let's do a few of these problems together. And if you can simplify them, I want you to give that a try. If you're having difficulty simplifying, I totally understand because simplifying actually takes quite a bit of practice to do to be able to see it. And you're going to be working on simplifying fractions a lot in 5th grade. Some of you might be ready to do that now, and if you are, go for it. If you are not ready and you're just ready to multiply it across, then stick with that, okay? All right, so let's look at our worksheet here. So the first one is the one that we just did on the whiteboard. 2/5 times 6. Okay, I'm going to put it over 1. So I have 2/5 times 6 over 1. I'm going to multiply across. 2 times 6 is 12. And 5 times 1 is 5. Now, is this a proper fraction? Remember, proper fractions have what? Big bottoms. Is that a big bottom? No, that's not a big bottom. That's a small bottom and a big top. So that is not a proper fraction. If I want to change that to a proper fraction so that it is the way that it should be in proper, I'm going to do this. Now, I don't have a number that I can divide the top and the bottom by that's the same number. I'm going to have some left over. So this is what I think to myself. Now, if you can do it, I want you to try with me. I'm going to ask myself, how many 5s are in 12? So I'm going to count 5, 10. Oh, I can't go to 15. So how many 5s are in 12? 2. Okay. Now, when I counted to 10. I said 5, 10. What's the difference between 10 and 12? Difference means subtract. So if I subtract 10 from 12, I get 2. So I'm going to put a 2 right there, and I'm not going to change the denominator. So 12/5 is the same as 2 whole pieces plus 2/5 of another piece. All right, let's move on to number 2. We did this one, 3/4 times 8. So let's write it out. 3/4 times 8 over what? 1. Excellent. Now multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. And on this one, I know that I'm going to end up with a whole number because if I count by 4s, I'm going to land on 24. So I'm going to divide the bottom by 4, and I'm going to divide the top by 4, and I'm going to get 6 out of 1, or 6 as my answer. All right, let's do the next one. 1/6 times what? What do we do with that 10? We do 10 over 1. Now, let's multiply. 10 or 1 times 10 is 10. 6 times 1 is 6. Now, is that a proper fraction? Proper fractions have big bottoms. That is not a proper fraction. So, I'm going to ask myself, how many 6s are in 10? How many 6s are in 10? 6, 12. Ooh, I can't go to 12. So there's 1. So I have 1 whole. And then what's the difference between 6 and 10? 10 minus 6 is 4. And I don't touch the denominator. I keep it the same. So your answer, if you are not reducing or putting in its simplest form, is 10 over 6. If you're going to give it a go, which I want you to try, you're going to have 1 and 4/6. Now, some of you might recognize that 4/6 can be reduced even more. Can I divide the top by 2? Can I divide the bottom by 2? Yes. So the very lowest is 1 and 2/3. I will accept this answer, I will accept this answer, and I will accept this answer. All right, let's try another one, my friends. All right, the next one is 4 times 5/7. So we're going to have 4 over what? 1 times 5 over 7. So it should look like that. 4 over 1 times 5 over 7. All right, let's multiply across. 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 7 is 7. All right, now, if I count by 7s, will I land on 20? I won't. So I know that I'm going to have to fix that. I'm going to have to divide. Okay, I'm going to have to find out how many 7s are in 20. Okay, because remember, this is not a proper fraction because proper fractions have big bottoms. This is not big compared to this. So I'm going to ask myself, how many 7s are in 20? Well, let's count by 7. 7, 14, 21. Well, I can't go to 21, but I can go to 14, which is 2. And then what's the difference between 14 and 20? The difference between 14 and 20 is what? 6. So I'm going to put the 6 at the top, and I don't touch the denominator. Do I have a proper fraction? Does it have a big bottom? Yes. So 2 6/7 is the correct answer. All right, my friends, I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to leave you to do the rest of the page. All right? Okay, here we go. 3/1. Okay, there's the 3, the whole number 3/1 times 1/3. All right, I'm going to multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. If I have 3 out of 3, if I have a candy bar and I have it split into 3 pieces and I eat all 3 of the pieces, how much of the candy bar did I get? Well, I got the whole thing. So 3 divided by 3 is 1 whole. All right, my friends, what I would like for you to do, this is your Wednesday assignment. So tomorrow on our Zoom call at 12:30, I want you to have this page done, and we're going to go over it, and I want you to ask me any questions that you might have. This might be something that's a little bit tricky. Also, don't forget, you can ask your parents. They can watch this video with you and learn how to, or remember how to do it if they have forgotten. Sometimes 4th grade math is tricky, okay? And you can ask them to help you as well, okay? So tomorrow, I want questions about NF4, page 1, if you have them. All right, my friends, good luck. Finish this page. Finish this page. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.